Okay, everyone, welcome back to DSP versus the Internet, episode 42 for December 10th, 2023. And I apologize for that last part. If you were watching on stream, it got blocked. If you're watching on demand, you saw how we had to abruptly end it because it got blocked. So stupid. We're back now with more clips. We're going to continue on with this standard members playlist to see how far we get. All right, so without further ado, let's continue and see what we got in store. So what we got here is Rainbow Road. Well, which version of Rainbow Road?
It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow.
This is super old.
And you will know when you get there. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go.
Wow.
It's a road
Such
that
lyrics.
You go when you die. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's a road we're all gonna go. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's like Princess Peach, Mario, and the Toad. It's a road.
The worst
Rainbow
lyrics
Road.
ever.
It's a road we're all gonna go. We'll go. It's Rainbow Road. It's where you go when you die. It's Rainbow Road.
It's where you go when you die? That's what he's saying?
I'll miss you again.
So he's trying to say this is heavy.
It's Rainbow Road. It's where you go. When you die, it's Rainbow Road.
Oh my god, he's terrible.
I'll miss you again.
Wow. Which version of Mario Kart is that? Is that GameCube? No, that's not Double Dash, because Double Dash would have had the 2 in the cart. So I don't know what version that is. But it's funny because it's its own song, but then it's the remix of the original Rainbow Road theme, too. From N64. That's the N64 Rainbow Road theme. GameCube, but GameCube was Double Dash. That couldn't have been GameCube because there wasn't 2 people in each cart. I think that was the Wii version. It can't be Double Dash because there's only 1 in the cart, right? Or am I wrong? Are there 2 in the cart? I can't see because this guy's blocked the fucking screen. Wow.
It's called a road. It's called a Rainbow Road.
Basically, this is a parody of like the Tim and Eric Awesome Show that used to be on Cartoon Network. Anyone ever seen it on Adult Swim? It's just a really bad singing, really bad lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. All right, well, that was weird. She thinks this old man is Santa. Look.
What you say? Santa? I've been told a lot worse. Have you been a good girl this year? Man. Wow, that's real pretty nails. Are you getting ready for Christmas? Put up your tree yet? Oh, right. Is it pretty?
The
That sounds nice.
Tell Santa what you're gonna leave him.
What you gonna put out for me this year? Can I eat them all?
What are you gonna leave for Rudolph?
Okay, I have to share with the reindeer.
Ha ha
I get one, the reindeer get the rest. They eat grass though. You're right, they do. But up North Pole, grass is pretty hard to come by. It's all snow grass.
What did she say?
Yeah.
You better tell him bye. Let him get back to his shopping. Tell Santa
I've
bye.
got a lot of little kids to buy for. And I've got a lot to make.
Say thank you. Thank
You have a Merry Christmas.
She just.
You wonder if that guy probably gets that all the time, right? Like, little kids probably think he's Santa. I mean, he's got the look. Why not? I mean, he probably does that, too, right? Does you think he probably does it for a job, too? He probably is like a mall Santa. He could be. He looks exactly like the role, the traditional look of Santa Claus. So.
The digital age prioritizes convenience over experience. And in some ways, that's good. If I need to go shopping, I don't have to spend hours at a store. I can just do it on my phone. It's great for tedious and boring tasks, but it's not great for interpreting and experiencing art. See, albums used to be events. Back when the only sales that counted towards Billboard were physical and digital purchases, you had to convince these people that you deserved their hard-earned money for the product you were giving them. But now it's just not the same. Since music is basically on demand now, artists just aren't putting the same effort into their rollouts. They post their track list a month or two before the album comes out and they call it a day. Music isn't as profitable as it once was, so albums are basically commercials for artists' tours. Even when there is big hype for an album, people generally move on after a week or two. Compare that to the past where songs that were hits would still play on the radio routinely even a year or 2 years after their release. That's because music is so instantaneous now. You have direct access to multiple albums the literal minute they come out.
And you know what? It's not just music, because he's listing other things, and he's right. It's the same thing with television and movies. Like, I remember when I was younger, in the 80s, 90s, and even 2000s, when a movie was coming out, and again, it was only available in the theater, right? The hype was crazy for that. And people would want to go nuts. They would line up outside the movie theater to see the movie. You have to buy your tickets in advance for big movies. And, you know, it was a wild event. The summer blockbuster truly was that. Like, people would keep going back to see the same movie 2, 3, 4 times over the course of the summer, right? Or a television show, right? When a television show was coming out and it was going to be, you had to watch it live. There was no way to watch it after the fact. Either you were watching it live or you found a way to record it and watch it later. But that was a big thing, watching it in prime time when it was on TV. Today, everything is on demand whenever you want it. And because of that, there's no feeling of a big event, no feeling of a social premiere or a big thing that everyone's doing at the same time. My dad actually brought this up last week when every week I call my parents and we talk about everything going on. And we were talking about the state of like Christmas specials. And my dad said when you were a kid, every year they would have the Charlie Brown Christmas special, you know, among other Christmas, like the Rudolph. It would all be on TV prime time once a year. So whenever that happened, literally everyone would tune in live to watch it because that was how everyone got their Christmas traditions. It was consuming the Christmas content when it was on primetime TV. Now they're not even on. They took them all off. You can watch them, but you have to have this on-demand service, that on-demand service, this one, that one. And because of that, the feeling that this is a worldwide event, a Christmas special everyone knows, has been lost. Most kids today probably don't even know what those Christmas specials are anymore. Why? Because they took them off TV. So they don't consume that content anymore. And the problem is when you have something like a Netflix. Netflix puts out so many shows and TV, not only TV style shows, but movies and everything. Nothing is special on there, right? There's literally so much content to consume in a month. There's no way you could watch it all. There's no way you could know what's good. So you just end up kind of listening by word of mouth over the internet or what they're paying to promote, you know, what they put on their front page to promote. Or else you just guess. Like when I had Netflix, that's exactly what it was. There was an overload of content, but I never knew what was good. I would pick a few things that sucked. Well, I don't want to watch anymore. I'm tired. I don't want to waste my time with starting a show and the show's not good, right? So that's really what's happened. Everything's digital. So he's right. Everything goes stale. Music's not special anymore because it's on demand. There's no big album drops anymore, right? Movies, hey, they're digital within a month of them being in the theater. Just wait, watch it on demand later. TV shows, instant, watch them all, one season in one day. There's no live premiere on TV anymore. Like, he's right. The convenience changed culture, but was it necessarily for the better? It's an interesting thing to observe.
So it's probably going to go stale just as quick. But I think the main issue with music in the streaming era is how personalized everything is. Artists with the most streams don't necessarily show you who the collective population is all listening to. It shows you who has the largest core audience. Take artists like Morgan Wallen and Bad Bunny, for example. They have huge streaming numbers and dominate the Billboard charts, but I bet if you asked someone outside of their target audience to name a song from them, they couldn't.
No, I can't.
Now compare that to 10 or 12 years ago, everybody knew songs from Rihanna, Lady Gaga, and Katy Perry, even if they were outside of the target audience. The idea of universal superstars or universal pop hits will soon fade out. because you can't really promote yourself to a general audience in the age of algorithms. I know I spent a lot of time talking about music specifically, but it also affects TV shows and movies as much, if not more.
Yeah, I
Streaming
think even more.
services are financially incentivized to create bingeable TV shows, which means the episodic and spontaneous nature of TV is dying out. This impacts sitcoms the most because the whole point is you could kind of just tune into a random episode from a random season and still have an idea of what's going on. Not only that, the interactive elements of watching TV are pretty much non-existent with the streaming era. Take Adult Swim and Toonami from the 2000s, for example. It wasn't just the shows themselves that hooked people in. It was the promo ads, those little text screens, those bumpers, and accepting submissions from fans. It made viewers feel like they were a part of a community, not just consuming media. Additionally, there's a lost art in creating a good TV lineup. Adult Swim's block wasn't really designed for you to watch one show the whole way through. They were designed so each show in the lineup would complement each other. I was too young for Adult Swim's run in the early 2000s.
I wasn't. I watched it all the time, and it was really good. It exposed me to things like Japanese anime that I didn't even know existed. This kind of weird, oddball, low-budget humor shows, like you're seeing right there, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. That's not a high-budget show, but I didn't even know that stuff existed until Adult Swim.
But fortunately, re-uploads have made me feel like I was a part of that moment in time, and like I was really watching these shows the way the creators intended me to. However, movies are probably the industry that's most negatively affected by the streaming era. The past half-decade has been spent with superhero movies and live-action remakes. This year has been a rare exception with Oppenheimer, but still, even that took Christopher Nolan and Universal distribution to make possible. People just don't have as much incentive to go out to the theater to enjoy a movie when there's so many options on streaming services. With the amount of options people have, they're not taking a risk on an original story, which is why everything feels so repetitive. While I've been talking about the individual issues that music, TV, and movies have in the streaming...
also video games are affected too, because like he just said, there's no more effort to make something original. Same thing with video games. Video games have really suffered from this in this era of instant gratification, instant download. Most game publishers now seek to make a game that falls into an already established genre or niche. They don't want to go outside the mold and do something original. It's like, we're going to make a looter shooter. We're going to make a co-op survival game. We're going to make a horror game. We're going to make a, first-person game. We're going to make a third-person action game. We're going to make a fighting... They want to fall into the established criteria without actually breaking any molds. And then they say, so what's our revenue now that we'll make on that? That's it. Like, that's making a video game these days. And that's why when we're watching the Game Awards and you're watching the announcements of new games and they start, and like, why does this look exactly like 5 other games we already saw during the Game Awards? Because there's no originality anymore in creating stuff. It's all just become everyone wants to copy the same formula and instantly distribute it, make their money, and move on to the next. There's no feeling of, I'm making something impactful. I'm making something unique. I'm making a work of art. No one feels that way anymore. It just feels like the money, instant money. And that's terrible. It's really hurting society as a whole.
Yara, there's also collective issues that they share. The first one being this illusion of variety that they sell you on. You get so much content for this monthly fee, which seems relatively cheap, so it's a no-brainer, right? But really, nobody has enough time to watch all the
exactly
shows
what I just said.
Or listen to all the music on these platforms. So what usually ends up happening is you fall into a comfort zone of the same repeated listens or the same repeated shows that you watch. You'd be better off just buying these 2 or 3 albums or 2 or 3 shows that you enjoy
what everyone used to
instead
do.
of paying a lifetime fee to basically borrow these products. Which leads into my second point about ownership. Anything that you consume under a streaming service, you don't own it. I know that sounds obvious, but think about it for a second. You're basically relying on a third party, which is a major corporation, to not just remove or censor things that you enjoy. When you yourself own the art that you consume, You don't have to worry about all of that extra bullshit. It can't be tampered with, and you're gonna watch it the way the artist intended you to. And on a human level, the art we collect represents us. Recently, the man who played the role as my grandfather passed away. When I was at his house on the day he died, I looked at his music collection on his bookshelf. Instinctively, I grabbed the albums that seemed interesting to me, and whenever I listened to his Norah Jones CD, I feel like in a way I'm communicating with someone who's no longer with us. And that's just something that a Spotify playlist can't replicate. Because what these streaming platforms don't understand is, art isn't just about the product itself.
Correct.
It's about the memories, the people, and the places we have attached
It's
to
supposed
them.
to have a meaning attached to it. You don't make a video game, you don't make a movie, you don't make a television show, you don't make a song because you're making a product to be sold. That's ridiculous. Art is different from a commodity. Art is not supposed to be a commodity. Art is not an ingredient to make a cake. It's not oil you put in your car. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be something that has inner cultural meaning for your brain and for your emotions. And what's happened is this era, this last decade, has turned art into a commodity. It is just made to be regurgitated out, sold, and published for a profit, and then you're on to the next piece, rather than truly taking the time to realize what that was supposed to mean to you or to someone else or to culture as a whole, you know, society as a whole. No one looks at this stuff anymore. It just becomes pump out, pump out, pump out. And that's why so many video games suck. That's why music sucks. Today, you turn on the radio, what the fuck am I listening to? The same auto-tune, blah, 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 blah. It all sounds the same. Every artist sounds the same. Even different genres of music sound the same because they were only produced to make money. They weren't produced to have a meaning behind it. And that's not art. That was never supposed to be what art was intended to do, you know? Sad. But that's where we're going. It needs to change. I mean, the thing is, the indie stuff still exists. The actual true stuff still exists, but that's not what you hear about. That's not what gets pushed down your throat or recommended to you on a YouTube playlist or on a Spotify playlist or on Netflix's big recommended screen. You know, you don't see any of that. And that's bad. You don't get to see the meaningful stuff anymore, you know? Okay, let's continue. Okay. One person in 20 is tone deaf. Okay. The following quiz tests your musical ear. Interesting. Now identify this note. Is it A or B? B. Your answer is B. Congrats, you passed stage 1. General pitch recognition. Cool. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay. A. Congrats, you passed stage 2. Identify pitches with an octave. Right. One's more flat, one's more sharp. That's lower and higher. B. That's a higher pitch. Pitches within half an octave. There you go. Okay. A. You're likely not tone deaf if you got those 4. Cool. I didn't think I was tone deaf because I've always been very able to recall like songs or tunes. Like I used to listen to commercials all the time on TV when I was a kid, and here I am 40 years old, and all of a sudden it'll pop into my head like a commercial from 100 creepy crawlers, do 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 creepy crawlers. I haven't heard that in how long, but I can call these commercials out. I have that kind of musical melody mind. I remember that stuff. So I'd be pretty crazy if I was tone deaf and I could remember songs that I heard on TV ages ago, right? There you go. Okay, identify a group of notes are either going up or going down. Okay. Sure, they're going higher pitched. Yep. Yep. Cool. Down. Okay. Here we go. Up. That's going up. Ready? Yep. Do, do, do. Going up. Yep. Okay. Going up or down? Going up. Yep. You can be certain that you are not tone deaf. Cool. Stage 6. I wonder if stage 6 is tough. Let's find out. They are getting harder. I'll be honest, a few of those going up and down, the middle note is kind of questionable. It's a little hard to read. But when you hear all 3 in a row, you can figure it out. Alright, stage 6. Here we go. The sequence of numbers in a major scale, huh? I don't even know what that means. Okay. Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, that I can't do. Dun 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 dun. 5? I'll go for 5. Ah, I got it right. Holy shit. I got it right. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Oh shit. Oh, I didn't know it was gonna be 2. I can't do that. I don't have that. I tap out on this one. That one I can't do. That's 2 in a row. You just melted my brain. If I had a more musical mind, or I was into music and I studied it, I'd be able to do that. Nah, that one that got me. So that one I have no clue. Okay. Pretty good, though. Yeah, if you could get all that, good for you. It means you probably have a more musical mind. So, okay, let's go on to the next. And actually, well, no, we still have about 10 minutes left before we split the part. Let's see here.
Come on, man.
What?
This is my house. I own it.
Okay, I understand.
Man, if you'd hold that
90s Cops is the
window
best
right there,
cops. 1990s Cops.
All right.
I'll jump through and meet you at the front door.
Okay.
And I'll show you
The dolls, that religion you choose, though? Okay.
my religion. That's
All
right.
All right, jump in there. Don't kick me on your way in. All right. Whoa. Watch your head.
Hey.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well.
You meet me at the front.
Okay.
All right. Come in here, man.
You don't have no snakes or nothing, do you?
Man, I got snakes.
No,
I went
man.
into this house to the other.
No, I'm serious. I don't like snakes.
I will protect you.
No, you tell me.
I
where
will
the snakes are, 'cause
protect
I don't
you.
like-
Snakes are in here. I want you to get a look at them.
Hey, yeah, you're right. I'll stand right here. man.
No, wait a minute. You don't understand.
Holy
how
shit, there's
many
100
there
snakes
are.
in there.
Dude.
You see all them snakes?
Yo,
right
he's got a
Yeah.
ton of
there? You
snakes.
see them snakes right there?
Yeah.
They're my babies.
Okay.
I care more about them snakes than I do a human life. Just like that, man.
Okay.
Them snakes mean more to me than any human being ever born, man. What is this? This is a Mariani.
There it is, right there. Is that
Okay.
it?
I don't know what you're looking
The
at.
one at 209, right there.
Well,
Is
right
that
there,
it?
you know what that is? That is a wine opener.
Oh.
That's great. So this is actually a religious artifact. This is just a wine opener. Oh, okay. By the way, we have to skip again. Yes, if you can believe it, that clip also is getting claimed. So I have to skip that. We have to go to the next video. If the stream gets blocked, I apologize. I can't do anything about it. That video was getting claimed, and we did watch several minutes of it. So the stream might get blocked again. At least we're near the end of this part too. Okay. All right. Let's see this. Fallout 4 VR full playthrough, and it's 1 minute, 30 seconds long. Here we go.
Yeah. It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. Ah!
Oh, I like how he doesn't like this. He doesn't like this. Just one of those. Oh, he does like it.
Whoa!
Just one of those days.
3 million views. I mean, at first it was funny, then it was stupid, and it has 3 million views. Why? Anyway.
There have been 45 presidents in the history of the United States, and as of uploading this video, 39 of them have died. Today I'm talking about what killed every president and the bizarre circumstances that surrounded many of their deaths. 4 assassinations, a top secret surgery aboard a fishing boat, God bless America, and pee-whoop. George Washington was—
This is 15 minutes long, so we're not going to watch the whole thing. We'll just watch parts of it. We'll watch a few parts of it, maybe some of the more notable presidents, and then we'll finish this part, actually, and we'll move on to the next part of the show. Okay.
Was killed by his doctors. That's what I think anyway. In 1799, then retired President Washington developed a sore throat. His condition worsened over the next few days, despite the efforts of several physicians. Of course, in 1799, medical treatment was very poor, as doctors often believed the best way to treat ailments was by balancing the humors, meaning they would balance the amount of blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile within the body.
That makes no sense.
Over the course of several days, doctors drained Washington of 32 ounces of his blood, gave him blisters in his throat, forced him to vomit, and filled him with— No surprise, Washington passed after several days of this medieval torture. I do wonder if Washington would have lived longer had he just hydrated well and maybe got a Z-Pack. John Adams lived until 90 years old, the longest living president until Ronald Reagan, when he died of heart failure, likely related to arterial sclerosis, a blockage of your arteries due to plaque buildup, usually occurring with old age or poor lifestyle habits. Strangely enough, Adams died on July 4th, 1826.
He died on Independence Day.
Exactly 50 years to the day he signed the Declaration of Independence, and just 5 hours after Thomas Jefferson, who died the same exact day. The cause of his death is not conclusive, but it was likely due to a variety of ailments such as diarrhea, kidney damage, and an enlarged, possibly cancerous prostate. America's shortest president at just 5'4", James Madison lived until the age of 85 when he died of congestive heart failure, where the heart's ability to pump blood deteriorates, causing fluid buildup throughout the body. While specific details are not well recorded, James Monroe died in 1831 after a battle with tuberculosis, a bacterial infection that usually attacks the
Arthur Morgan disease.
lungs. And while he may have been only America's 5th president, at the time of his death, he joined Adams and Jefferson to become the 3rd president to die on July 4th. The fact of former presidents dying on July 4th was not lost on the American people, with the trend becoming a bit of a mid-1800s meme. John Quincy Adams served 1 term as president and then became the first to die in office, though not in office as president. You see, after losing the election of 1829, John Quincy Adams continued his public service by holding Congress for 9 terms. At the age of 78, during a contentious debate over the Mexican-American War on the floor of the House of Representatives, Adams collapsed, suffering a significant stroke, where there's decreased circulation to the brain leading to neurological damage. He died at his home 2 days later, but not before what must have been a spectacular emergency on Capitol Hill. Andrew Jackson suffered a long and slow decline in health before dying at the age of 78. The cause of his death, though, has been widely disputed, some attributing it to the use of the medication calomel, leading to heavy metal poisoning. But JAMA states he probably died of kidney failure with full body swelling, known at the time as dropsy. While it's not entirely certain what killed Martin Van Buren, many sources, including his obituary in the New York Times, cite issues originating within his chest. It's likely his decline began with a lung infection, leading to cardiopulmonary failure. Now, things get interesting. William Henry Harrison delivered a 2-hour inaugural address in freezing drizzle without a coat or gloves, which many people believe to be the cause of pneumonia, an infection of the lungs, which killed him only 1 month into serving office. In 1841, germs had not been discovered.
Germs! Germs! Everywhere!
Rather, doctors believed the most effective medical treatments were to, just like with Washington, balance the humor. Doctors blistered the president and made him drink substances that forced him to vomit and have diarrhea. Of course, none of those methods actually worked. Goop. And so, William Henry Harrison remains our president with the shortest stint in office. John Tyler took over for William Henry Harrison and served the remainder of that term as president. Historians claim he was never very healthy to begin with and died in 1862 of a stroke. He remains the only president in US history not to be buried with the Stars and Stripes, as he was the darling of the Confederacy and was buried with their flag instead. James K. Polk had
We'll do one more, because this is a very long video. We'll just do one more, and then we'll split the part here.
grand visions of his life after the presidency, leaving Washington on a southern tour of the US, eventually hoping to end in Nashville, where he had purchased a large home. Unfortunately, Polk died 3 months after leaving office. The shortest post-presidency stint in American history from cholera, a diarrheal disease caused by drinking contaminated water.
That sucks. All right, I mean, this could go on forever, and I know some of the presidents died of interesting things. I mean, some of them were assassinated, but they're probably saving that for the end, aren't they? All right. Well, thank you all. Good stuff. We have an hour left of DSP versus the internet for this week. I am enjoying the show. I hope you guys are too. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back shortly with part 5, which is the Q&A part, where I answer member questions. Thanks, everyone, and see you then.